While waiting in the car, the girl was suddenly pulled out by the gang. Despite her pleas and willingness to sacrifice everything to be spared, he coldly fired a shot, ending her life to prove his loyalty. The film begins with a warm scene as the Duncan family celebrates their daughter's birthday, showcasing the close bond and love between the members. In the story, William and Kat participate in a softball game, where they share memorable moments together through their passion for sports. However, during dinner, the parents express concern when they realize that Kat seems to be prioritizing sports over her studies. Nevertheless, Kat confidently asserts that she can balance both and remains determined to conquer the upcoming game. At the Den, a notorious strip club, the infamous Fetter Boys Street Gang makes an appearance. In the midst of the chaos, the leader, Donnie, is brutally attacking a man and without hesitation, takes his life just as his two sons arrive. Rory, the eldest, and Danny, the youngest. Denny expresses his determination to join the gang's illegal activities and is handed his first gun, marking the first step on his criminal path. Meanwhile, the Duncan family returns home after a day full of joy, and William and Kat decide to buy tacos to celebrate their proud victory. While waiting in the car, Kat is suddenly pulled out by the Fetter Boys gang. Despite her pleading and willingness to give up everything to spare her life, mercy is completely absent in the gang's brutal challenge. As the first test to prove his place in the group, Denny doesn't hesitate to demonstrate his loyalty by coldly shooting and taking Kat's life. Hearing the gunshot, William rushes outside, but it's already too late to save his daughter. Overcome with pain and rage, William confronts Denny. Although Denny tries to take down William, he is quickly arrested by the police. However, the real pain hits when William and Jen receive the news of their daughter's death. The pain deepens further when the justice system proves to be unfair. Danny is only sentenced to 5 to 7 years in prison, a punishment far too lenient for the brutal crime he committed. Worse still, Denny denies responsibility for killing Kat and her friend, Gild, claiming that Williams suffered a concussion during the altercation, which leads to the court dismissing his testimony. This only makes William feel more disillusioned and lose faith in justice, unable to accept the injustice of his daughter not receiving the justice she deserved. Reluctantly, William initially accepts a plea deal to allow the case to proceed. However, when standing in court, he decides to abandon the legal path, choosing instead to take justice into his own hands. In silence, William follows Danny's every move, patiently waiting for him and his gang to return home, preparing for his plan. Unaware of the lurking danger, Danny casually enters his house without any suspicion. Hidden in his car, William patiently waits until nightfall to carry out the dark plan he has devised. At that moment, a street worker named Luna happens to notice him and approaches to inquire. However, consumed by hatred, William refuses any help. When Danny appeared, William's fury erupted. Without hesitation, he slammed his car straight into Danny, taking him down instantly. Consumed by uncontrollable rage, William stepped out, wielding a baseball bat, and ruthlessly ended his life. After the brutal act, William quickly left the scene and returned home. He immediately washed the car, erasing all traces of the crime he had just committed. Ere seeing his wife watching an old family video, memories of peaceful days flooded back. William uttered a few brief words before silently stepping into the bathroom. In the quiet space, with emotions overwhelming him, he realized he had crossed a line from which nothing could bring him back. Meanwhile, members of the Fetter gang returned to their club. Rory handed over the money he had earned on the streets to Donnie. But instead of being pleased, Donnie showed clear dissatisfaction. He sternly warned Rory that there would be no tolerance for any future mistakes. Shortly after, the grim news of Danny's death left Donnie stunned. He rushed to the scene, and when he saw his younger brother's body lying cold in the body bag, it felt like a fatal blow. The sight left Donnie seething with anger, unable to accept the harsh truth. At the same time, a detective came to see William, placing him on the list of prime suspects in the case. Despite his concern, William vehemently denied any involvement. Jen also stood by her husband, asserting that William had been at home the entire night. However, as soon as the police left, the atmosphere in the house immediately grew tense. Jen confronted William, leading to a heated argument between them. William felt hurt and insulted by the suspicion from his wife, while Jen was confused by his suspicious silence. The loss and pain pushed them apart, making it difficult for them to find common ground. Meanwhile, at the club, Rory quietly nurtured his plan for revenge over Denny's death. He ordered the gang members to track down the person behind the incident, who, according to information from Luna, was identified as William. The next morning, Rory and Henley discovered William working on his laptop at a cafe. Determined not to miss the opportunity, they decided to ambush him from behind. However, William quickly sensed the danger and immediately tried to escape. Despite his efforts, he was captured, and in a desperate moment, he was forced to use force to protect his life. With his skills and experience, William easily defeated Henley and escaped once again. He quickly reported the incident to a passing police car. However, Rory cleverly evaded the law's pursuit, despite being involved in multiple crimes. When he returned home, William sensed the danger and immediately took protective measures for his house. In the midst of the tension, Jen suggested they contact Chin for support. Meanwhile, at the crime scene, the police confirmed the victim was another member of the Fetter Boys gang, indicating that this could be part of a series of criminal events. William then contacted Chin, and the two decided to meet at his house. There, Chin did not hide his suspicions about William's involvement, emphasizing that it was William who had initiated the conflict with Rory in an attempt to avenge the death of his daughter. Chin revealed William's military record, highlighting his exceptional skills in handling such situations. However, Chin also agreed with William's defense that he was only doing whatever it took to protect his wife. Afterwards, Chin decided to send a police car to stand guard outside their house to ensure the safety of William's family. Later, a car dealer named Dante arrived at Roach's auto parts shop, which specialized in selling illegal car parts on the black market. Instead of receiving money for the car, Dante was given a bag of high-quality weapons, something that could earn him a fortune. That night, William shared with Jen about killing Danny, considering it an act of revenge for their daughter's tragic fate. Suddenly, a police car sped off after someone threw a bottle, creating an opportunity for Rory and Donnie to break into William's house. The break-in began with brief introductions and quickly escalated into a violent confrontation when Jen was shot and William fell to the ground, unable to assist. Despite his severe injuries, William attempted to call 911 as the attacker left the scene. When he regained consciousness, he realized he was being held in a hospital, and it was heartbreaking to learn that his wife had died. In physical and emotional pain, William struggled to find a way out, feeling reluctant and desperate about the remainder of his life. However, the medical team did their best to save him. As William slowly regained his composure, Chin visited him, calling him a miraculous survivor. Chin informed him that if he didn't commit to recovery, they would have to report his death. He advised William to embrace the opportunity to live a normal life again and recover. After several days of treatment, William finally came to terms with his loss and regained the ability to walk. Driven by a thirst for revenge, he quickly set his escape plan in motion, disguising himself in a janitor's uniform to easily slip out of the hospital. Once he was free, he headed to a Western-style motel, where he coincidentally encountered Dante, who was involved in petty theft. The next day, William withdrew money from the bank, but he couldn't resist Dante's curiosity. Dante, learning about William's conflict with the Fetter Boys gang, offered his help to assist William in navigating this difficult situation. William hesitated, but in the end, he decided to turn to Dante to get a gun. Dante proudly showcased the guns in his shop, and during their conversation, shared a past encounter with the Fetter Boys gang, in which he was injured in the shoulder and lost a cousin. Dante expressed his willingness to help William, driven by their shared hatred for the Fetter Boys. In the end, William purchased the entire collection of guns, ammunition, a classic jacket, and a car from Dante, preparing for his revenge plan. Finally, after arriving at a vast field to practice his shooting skills, William spent several days honing his abilities, preparing for the upcoming confrontation with the Fetter Boys gang. As the time to execute his plan drew near, he visited the resting place of his family, quietly paying his respects. The grief of being a husband and father still lingered, even though time had passed. All the pent-up emotions surged, leading to a dramatic pursuit of revenge. Under the cover of night, William prepared to face Zach, Rory's loyal ally, as he stealthily infiltrated Zach's residence, determined to carry out his plan. William found Zach engrossed in a video game, and when the opportunity arose, he launched a surprise attack. Although initially overpowered by Zach's size and strength, William ultimately prevailed. Zach quickly begged for mercy, pleading for his life. However, William showed no sign of compassion. Hours later, the police discovered Zach's lifeless body. Chin then visited Donnie's workplace to provide an update. He revealed that the conflict with William was far from over and emphasized William's pivotal role in the deaths of Rory's gang members. Chin made it clear that his intentions were good, advising Rory to temporarily lay low in order to de-escalate the conflict and avoid even worse consequences. However, the discussion didn't go smoothly, and the federal agents seemed uninterested in his advice, continuing their aggressive pursuit of William. Outside, William observed Chin leaving the gang's hideout, suspicious of Chin's motives. The feeling of betrayal, as even those in authority whom he once trusted ignored the crimes, only fueled the rage inside him. In his fury, William stealthily approached Chin, armed with a police handgun. They entered the house together, and William didn't hesitate to accuse Chin of betrayal. He scorned Chin for failing to protect their community, leaving behind an indelible stain. Although Chin acknowledged the immunity the Fetter gang had within the system, which he did not agree with, the situation became clearer as they were unable to hold the Fetter gang accountable for their brutal actions. William warned Chin that the end would come quickly, but if he intervened, William would not hesitate to kill him. Nevertheless, William assured Chin that he would not resist until that moment actually arrived. The next day, Donnie ordered Rory to decisively finish off William, and they immediately left the area. Donnie was unaware that William had anticipated every move they would make. William hid in a car parked outside the club, pretending to be drunk, then stealthily subdued the guard before making his way into Donnie's office. William's sudden appearance threw Donnie into a state of panic. Realizing what was about to happen, Donnie hurriedly urged William to handle the situation quickly. William began the conversation, sharing the intense emotions he had felt when he first took a life, recalling the fateful moment when he ended Danny's life. However, in the decisive moment, William suddenly realized that he felt emotionally numb before finishing off Donnie. He wondered if Donnie had ever felt the same way when he took action against Jen in the past. In the end, William took down Donnie, the notorious criminal who had destroyed his family, just as he had done today. The gunshot echoed through the club, causing panic as everyone rushed to flee in all directions. Taking Donnie's phone, William called Rory, without a trace of regret, to inform him of his father's death. However, Rory maintained a calm demeanor, showing no emotion, not a single tear. The Fetter brothers returned to the club, where the atmosphere was chaotic as they searched for Donnie. In the office, they discovered Donnie's lifeless body, but Rory showed no signs of grief, displaying a clear detachment from his relationship with his father. The gang members quickly shifted their focus to hunting down William, as he unexpectedly appeared. William's voice echoed through the speakers, as a declaration of his presence in the club. The chase between William and the Fetter brothers began, and only William was aware that he had no advantage in this situation. He was ready to face the failure of his quest for revenge. Initially, he tried to calm the situation, but things quickly escalated into violence. During a shootout, one of Rory's henchmen was taken hostage, and William threatened to end his life. Without hesitation, Rory decided to end the man's life. Despite being wounded in the shoulder, William managed to escape, but he had to drag himself up the stairs in pain. Dante quietly watched William struggle, while Luna hurriedly informed them of his location at the motel. As soon after, Rory and his men arrived. Despite searching William's desk thoroughly, they found no valuable information, and in the end, they executed him as if his life was worth nothing. Unwavering, Rory continued calling William's name, making sure everyone knew of his presence. Despite the attack, William remained resilient, fighting back and teaming up with Dante to take down their enemies first. Faced with overwhelming force, they had no choice but to leave the motel and engage in a fierce gunfight. As night fell, the battle raged on with Dante, confused, looking for a way to escape. In desperation, he called for help from his close friend Roach. Seizing the opportunity, they drove into the garage successfully. There, Roach Gang immediately opened fire on Rory's vehicle, forcing his group to retreat. Rory quickly charged into the garage without hesitation, causing both gangs to pay a heavy price. Standing there with serious wounds, Rory saw that Dante and William were also injured, and they all lamented the untimely death of Danny. In that moment, Rory couldn't hold back his emotions, expressing the pain of the cruelty of the world. However, William took advantage of Rory's guard being down, grabbing a screwdriver and stabbing him in the neck. Rory, with a contemptuous smile, left an imprint that William would never forget. As the alarms sounded, Blair and Dante hurried to escape the scene as the police surrounded the area. Officers surveyed the gruesome crime scene, but they felt it was a victory, as the Fetter gang had now become a thing of the past. The film ends with a shot of William walking away, ready to surrender and be arrested. However, he takes his final breath after successfully wiping out the notorious gang. though the cost was his own life. And now the cost was his own life. In the end, he is reunited with his family in the afterlife. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.